Hello, this is Ashley with Gideon Taylor. Today we are looking at the Policy Acknowledgements eForm created for the state of Tennessee. The purpose of this project was to greatly reduce the amount of paper being used by the state, since each of their 40,000 plus employees have to review at least 7 human resources policies that are printed and acknowledged at the time of hire and continue to review them annually. The solution you're about to see allows employees to open a single electronic form that contains links to all of the policies they are required to review. Let's take a look at what we've created. Looking at the form from the user's perspective is where we'll start. We'll click on the nav bar and the navigator and find self-service. And if we scroll down, we're going to see our form, Policy Acknowledgements. If we click on it, it's going to take us to our home page where a user could create, update, or view a policy acknowledgement eForm. If I click on Create a Policy Acknowledgement eForm, it will open. You see it took me to the correct task by the Create at the top. We have some general instructions as well as some header information that's consistent with the other forms we've created for the state. And here's the magic, the policy links to review. Here are those 7 policies that they have to review at the time of hire, and our actions: submit and save. If we try to click submit without reading any, it's going to give us an error saying that we need to acknowledge all of them before trying to submit. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll click on Code of Conduct and you see it opens in a new window, and here's their Code of Conduct policy. Now we will, quote, read through it as we scroll down to the bottom and go back to the form. Now we have this awesome automatic checkbox that has let me know that I have read this form. If I try to submit, though, it says you still haven't reviewed all of them. So I'm going to speed up through here, click through all of the forms so that way we've, quote, again, reviewed them all. Now that we've reviewed them all, we see a form message that says, please ensure that you actually have read them and agreed to abide by them. If I try to submit without clicking that acknowledgement, I won't be able to. So we're going to acknowledge that we understand and agree to abide by them, and now we're able to submit. Once we click yes, we'll be taken to our form finalize page to confirm that it's submitted and be able to see that because there's no approvals required for this form, that we are done. Now let's look at how this form happens. We're going to go to the nav bar and scroll down to Manage GT eForms. From there, we'll click on TN eForm Setup, then click on SIG Setup, and you'll see 2 setup tables. As mentioned on the opening slide, you could have agency-specific policies, but we're going to click on SIG Setup, which is for the company-wide policies. When we come in, we see Message ID and Display Sequence Number. The display sequence tells you which order you want these policies to appear on the form. Status and effective date, that determines whether or not you will actually see the policy on the form, and we will manipulate those a bit. Then you see link label. We have code of conduct, that's the text that appears on the form, and link reference is where you go when you click on the link label. Now, if that isn't enough information, you do have the option to enter a policy description to give your users a little more information on what they're opening. Now you'll see I'm pointing out all of the different link labels that you've already seen when we were adding the eForm. All 7 policies are here. But what if there's a new policy we want to add? We're going to click on the Add button. You'll see a new message ID appears. Now if I want this to appear first, I can put a 1 and it'll be the top, but I don't. I'm just going to put an 80 to keep with the theme that we have already. Now because I want to see this as of today, I'm going to put the status as active and leave the default of today, the 14th. I'm going to put the link label in, which is the text you're going to see. So to help you remember what it is, I'll put new link label. When I click new link label, I want it to take us to the Gideon Taylor homepage, so I'm going to put that in the link reference. And to let you see what policy description is and how it appears on the form, I'll put this as the policy description. But what other fun things are we going to be able to do? Let's look. For code of conduct, let's go ahead and add a new row. You'll see it populates everything up just with a new effective date as of today's date. Now if you get a little confused and happen to hit it twice, now you have duplicate information. If you go down and save, it's going to give you an error saying that the data being added conflicts because the system found that you already have that item. We're just going to go ahead and delete it. Click OK. So now to see that we have effective as of today and that it really does pull in new information from this setup table, I'm going to adjust the link label to say new effective today. Let's go to the next policy and add a new row. Now you're going to notice our row that's showing up on the form right now is effective of 6/16. If I try to add in a date before that 6/16 as of the first of the year, I can go ahead and enter it, but when I scroll down and save, it's going to say that you're trying to add a date that's older than the current row. So you need to put in a new date. Okay, let's do that. Let's play the game and put it in as 6/17, which is still less than today, quote, of 8/14. If I go and save, that's no go as well. You cannot add historic rows. It needs to be effective today or in the future. So, since we can't have future dated, let's show that. Let's say this is effective 1/1 of 2018, and to help remind us of that, we're going to adjust our link label as well so we know that as of 1/18, we want it to be active. This is really great if you have a new policy that you've already confirmed in the middle of the year, but you don't want users to actually start using it until next year. Let's see something else that we can do. So we have operation of motor vehicles. If that no longer is valid, you're not going to delete it. You're going to add a new row and make it inactive as of today's date. And if it's just agency specific, you could add it to that other setup table. Now it's going to remind you forever that that message ID 3, operation of motor vehicle, is no longer going to appear on your form. So let's review. We're going to see a new link label for code of conduct effective today. We're still going to see our usual workplace discrimination one because our effective date for our new row isn't valid yet. We're no longer going to see operation of motor vehicles. Our other policies are going to be untouched. And we're going to see a new policy appear with the label new link label taking us to Gideon Taylor. Let's look at our form. If we click on create, there it is. Code of conduct is new. Workplace discrimination hasn't changed though. We no longer see operation of motor vehicles, but we see our 4 still in place with that gap. And there's our new link label with the policy description. And if I click on it, it correctly takes me to our Gideon Taylor page. If I click back, again, we still see our link, and it's all good. I'm going to save this, though, and close. And let's go look at our old form and see if that's preserved, because at the time of this recording, I made them about a week apart, so you can see that all the values in the past are going to be maintained. Here's the form we created earlier in the video. When I click it, it's going to open in view, and you're going to see all of our policy links are showing as they were before we made any changes to the setup table. There you have it. We hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.